Stand up right now. Yes, right this second. I'll wait. Okay. Stand tall and stretch a little if you can. Now really pay attention to how your body feels in this exact moment. Are your shoulders tight? Is there stiffness in your knees or lower back from sitting or lying too long? Do you feel a general tiredness creeping in, even if it's only midday? And most importantly, that foggy, sluggish feeling inside your head. Thoughts seem slower, like they're wading through thick fog. Names slip away mid-conversation. You walk into a room and stand there wondering why you're there. If any of this rings true, even a little bit, stay with me, because this video could be one of the most important things you watch this year. Most seniors I talk to dismiss these signs as just part of getting older. They tell themselves, I'm in my 70s now, memory isn't supposed to be razor sharp anymore, or everyone forgets things as they age, it's normal. Friends and family might even say the same thing to reassure them. But here's the powerful truth that too few people understand. That mental dullness, those annoying memory lapses, the short temper or low mood that shows up unexpectedly. In a huge number of cases, it is not simply inevitable aging. Often it's something far more controllable, something happening every single night while you sleep, or rather, while your sleep is being disrupted without you fully realizing it. According to the National Institute on Aging, close to 50% of adults over age 65 experience chronic sleep difficulties of one kind or another. That's nearly 1 out of every 2 seniors. Yet more than 60% of those very same people convince themselves these problems are harmless, unavoidable, or just how it is when you get older. They say things like, I wake up a couple times to use the bathroom, everyone does that, or I go to bed early so I get plenty of rest, that's enough. But the hidden, scary reality that most overlook is this. These common sleep issues are silently eroding your brain health night after night. There's no sharp pain to alert you, no dramatic warning signs, just gradual, quiet damage that accumulates over months and years, weakening memory circuits, dulling focus, destabilizing emotions, and even allowing more buildup of the proteins linked to cognitive decline. And guess what the single biggest hidden threat to your senior brain is right now? It's not eating too much sugar or sweets. It's not nonstop family stress or financial worries. It's not even your family history or genes. It's your daily and nightly sleep habits, the exact timing of when you go to bed, how long you stay awake in bed frustrated, whether light creeps in, how early you turn in, and whether you're relying on pills long term. The exciting part? These are all fixable. When seniors correct them, many report noticeable improvements in mental clarity, better word finding, steadier moods, and renewed confidence in just a few short weeks, not decades. Over the past 20-plus years, I've focused my entire professional life on understanding sleep science and its direct impact on brain health in people over 60. I've seen thousands of seniors walk into my office or join my programs feeling defeated, convinced they were losing it, only to discover that fixing their sleep patterns turned things around dramatically. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the 5 most widespread, sneaky sleep mistakes that nearly every senior falls into. These habits quietly rob you of brain power without you noticing. Then I'll hand you the straightforward, proven adjustments, backed by top research from Harvard, Stanford, Johns Hopkins, University of Colorado, University of Michigan, and the National Institute on Aging, that can start shielding your memory, sharpening your focus, and lifting your mood starting as early as tonight. Before we go any deeper, take 10 seconds right now. Scroll down and drop a comment with just your age. Whether you're 62, 68, 74, 81, or 90, write it below. I personally read a lot of these comments because it helps me understand exactly who's watching and what struggles you're facing. If you're already dealing with brain fog, memory slips, or that where did I put my glasses feeling every day, add the word foggy after your age. Your comment doesn't just help me, it encourages others who feel alone in this. Let's create real support here in the comments section. Now let's talk about what's truly going on inside your brain as the years add up. Starting around age 60 and accelerating a bit more in the 70s and 80s, your circadian rhythm, that built-in 24-hour internal clock, begins to lose some of its precision and flexibility. This rhythm doesn't just decide when you're sleepy or alert. It orchestrates critical brain functions. how well new memories get stored, how sharply you concentrate during the day, how evenly your emotions stay balanced, and even how effectively your brain's garbage collection system clears out harmful waste products while you sleep. Picture your brain as a busy train station in a major city. When the schedule is reliable, trains arrive and depart at precise times, everything flows smoothly. Passengers, your daily experiences and memories, board and disembark without issue. Maintenance crews clean the platforms overnight. But if the timetable becomes random, one train early, another late, some canceled, the station descends into disorder. Delays pile up, connections are missed, trash builds up, confusion reigns. In biological terms, your brain's master timekeeper is a small cluster of cells called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, located just above where the optic nerves cross. This tiny structure relies heavily on regular external signals, consistent wake-up light, fixed meal times, steady bedtime, to stay synchronized. When those signals vary wildly, bedtime jumping from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. to midnight depending on the day, the deep restorative sleep stages get severely disrupted or shortened. Deep non-REM sleep, also called slow-wave sleep, is the phase where your brain actively flushes metabolic waste, including beta amyloid, the sticky protein clumps associated with Alzheimer's disease progression. REM sleep, the dream-rich stage, helps process emotions, consolidate learning, and strengthen neural connections for memory. Disrupt the timing consistently, and you shortchange both phases. The brain doesn't get its full nightly repair and cleanup. Over time, this leads to exactly what so many seniors complain about: foggy thinking, trouble pulling up words or names, increased irritability, and a general sense that something's not right upstairs. One landmark study from the University of Colorado really drives this home. They followed 300 adults over 8 complete years, carefully monitoring sleep schedules, total sleep duration, and detailed memory testing. The results were eye-opening. Individuals whose bedtimes varied significantly from night to night showed a 30% faster rate of decline in episodic memory, the type of memory that lets you recall specific events, like what you ate for breakfast yesterday, or where you parked the car last week. And crucially, this accelerated decline happened even among people who were still averaging 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night on average. The total hours looked adequate, but the inconsistent timing wrecked the quality of the sleep stages that matter most for brain health. That's why it's possible to spend plenty of time in bed, yet still wake up feeling unrefreshed and mentally cloudy. If you've experienced that walk into a room and forget why moment recently, or if it happens often, type the word foggy in the comments section right now. I want to see how widespread this really is among viewers. All right, let's move into the 5 biggest sleep mistakes seniors make, and the practical fixes that actually work. Mistake number 1. Letting bedtime become completely irregular and unpredictable. Some nights you feel wiped out and go to bed at 9 p.m. Other nights you stay up watching a show or chatting until 11 p.m. or even midnight. Weekends might be different again. Your brain's internal clock can't anticipate when sleep time begins, so it fails to prepare the right deep sleep waves in advance. You end up with lighter, choppier rest instead of the solid restorative blocks your brain craves. The most effective fix is surprisingly straightforward and has massive ripple effects. Commit to a fixed wake-up time every single day of your life. Set your alarm for the same hour, say 6:30 a.m. or 7 a.m., and get out of bed within 10 minutes, no matter how poorly you slept the night before, no matter if it's Saturday or a holiday. This single action sends the strongest possible signal to your suprachiasmatic nucleus. Daytime starts now. Harvard-affiliated sleep studies have demonstrated that older adults who locked in consistent wake times saw deep sleep increase by an average of 30% within only 2 weeks. You don't need expensive trackers or supplements, just reliability on that morning alarm. If you're willing to start this tomorrow morning, drop a comment right now saying, "I'm trying this," or "locked wake time." Let's get some accountability going in the comments. Mistake number 2. Remaining in bed wide awake and tossing for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, sometimes an hour or longer, thinking, "I'm already in bed, so I'll eventually fall asleep." At first glance, it seems logical, but it's one of the worst things you can do long term. Your brain is an incredibly efficient association learner. When you spend extended time in bed feeling frustrated, anxious about not sleeping, or mentally replaying the day, it begins wiring the bed itself to mean alertness and worry, rather than deep rest and safety. Over time, this conditioning leads to more fragmented sleep, frequent awakenings, and heightened morning anxiety, even in people who are calm and even-keeled their whole lives. Johns Hopkins researchers conducted a detailed study on 250 adults all aged 65 and older. The findings were clear and concerning. Seniors who frequently stayed awake for prolonged periods while in bed experienced 42% more total nighttime awakenings across the board, along with significantly elevated scores on tests for morning anxiety, irritability, and overall emotional distress. The knock-on effects during the day are exactly what brings people to my office: persistent brain fog, short fuse, trouble concentrating, and sometimes brand new feelings of unease that feel foreign. The proven fix is called stimulus control, and it's one of the most powerful non-drug tools in sleep science. Rule: if you find yourself awake in bed for more than 20 to 30 minutes and you're clearly not drifting off, get up right away. Leave the bedroom. Keep all lights extremely low. A dim red bulb or nightlight is ideal. Avoid bright white or blue. Sit in a chair in another quiet room and do something deliberately dull and non-stimulating. Fold a few towels, page slowly through an uninteresting magazine, listen to soft instrumental music with no lyrics, or simply sit quietly. Do not check your phone, watch TV, read an exciting novel, or do anything mentally engaging. Only go back to bed once you feel genuinely sleepy and eyelids heavy. This technique quickly reconditions your brain to link the bed strictly with sleep onset. The Johns Hopkins data showed seniors using stimulus control reduced their nighttime awakenings by 42% over 6 weeks. It's simple, costs nothing, and delivers fast results. Mistake number 3. Heading to bed excessively early, often 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., under the belief that more time in bed means better rest. Many seniors adopt this habit thinking it's protective. Finish dinner, tidy up, and get to bed to be safe. But biology doesn't work that way. To generate strong sleep drive, your brain requires a sufficient period of continuous wakefulness to build up adenosine, a natural chemical that creates that heavy-eyed pressure to sleep. Go to bed too soon after being awake only 12 or 13 hours, and that pressure remains too low. You may fall asleep reasonably well at first, but the crucial deep slow-wave sleep, and especially REM sleep phases, become significantly shortened. Without adequate REM, emotional processing suffers, leading to mood swings or feeling off, and memory consolidation weakens, making it harder to retain new information or recall details. Many times this pattern perfectly mimics the early subtle signs of cognitive impairment: trouble finding words, forgetting recent events, even though brain scans and tests show no underlying disease. The issue is purely insufficient restorative sleep. Researchers at the University of Michigan specifically examined seniors who consistently went to bed very early. Despite spending 9 to 10 hours under the covers, their REM sleep duration was 20% shorter compared to those who maintained later, more optimal bedtimes. The solution is gradual adjustment. If your current bedtime is 7 or 8 p.m., start shifting it later by just 15 minutes every 2 or 3 nights. For example, 8 p.m., 8:15 p.m., 8:30 p.m., and so on, until you settle into the ideal window for most seniors, 9:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. This later timing better matches the natural evening rise in melatonin and allows enough accumulated wakefulness to fuel deeper, longer REM and slow-wave stages. Patients who make this shift often report clearer thinking, better emotional resilience, and fewer senior moments within a month. Mistake number 4. Permitting any amount of light exposure during the night, even seemingly insignificant sources like a hallway bulb left on, the faint glow from a charging phone, a TV screen in the living room, or streetlights filtering through thin curtains. Light is the single strongest cue for your circadian system. Even low levels tell your brain it's still daytime, suppressing production of melatonin, the hormone that not only initiates sleep, but also acts as a powerful neuroprotective agent, helping shield neurons and facilitate deep repair processes. Stanford University conducted controlled experiments on adults aged 65 and older. They found that exposure to even dim ambient light throughout the night reduced melatonin levels by a full 50%. The consequence? Noticeably lighter overall sleep architecture, reduced memory encoding during the night, and less efficient clearance of brain toxins. Seniors frequently underestimate this factor because the effects aren't immediate or painful. There's no headache, no sudden wake-up, just a slow erosion of brain quality over time. The straightforward fix: create a truly dark sleep environment. Invest in blackout curtains or a comfortable sleep mask. After sunset, switch to warm, dim red or amber bulbs. These wavelengths interfere least with melatonin. Eliminate all screens at least 1 to 2 hours before bed. If you must use a device, enable maximum night shift, blue light filtering, and keep brightness low. Many people notice deeper sleep and clearer mornings after just a few nights of consistent darkness. Mistake number 5. Long-term reliance on prescription or over-the-counter sleep medications. Short courses can be helpful during acute stress or travel, but when used nightly for months or years, many of these drugs, including benzodiazepines, like lorazepam or temazepam, Z-drugs, zolpidem, Zaloplan, and even some common antihistamine-based sleep aids, selectively suppress the deepest slow-wave sleep and portions of REM. Slow-wave sleep is precisely when your brain's glymphatic system ramps up to flush beta amyloid and other metabolic debris. Reduce that stage chronically, and the protective nightly cleanup gets compromised. A well-known study published in JAMA Neurology followed seniors taking benzodiazepines nightly for 6 months or more. They exhibited a 23% reduction in slow-wave sleep compared to non-users, even though total sleep time felt adequate. The brain simply wasn't getting the full restoration it needs. The recommended approach: have an open conversation with your primary care doctor or sleep specialist about your current regimen. Many can safely taper under supervision, while simultaneously building the natural rest habits outlined below. Once circadian rhythms strengthen and sleep pressure improves, a surprising number of patients successfully reduce or eliminate meds without rebound insomnia. None of these 5 mistakes mean your brain is doomed. The senior brain remains highly adaptable. Neuroplasticity doesn't vanish at 65 or 70 or even 85. With awareness and small, steady changes, remarkable turnarounds happen regularly. To show you what's possible, let me share 2 detailed stories from my own patients. First, Margaret, age 72. When she first reached out, she was visibly shaken. "Dr. Kent, I feel like I'm losing my mind," she said. Every day brought fresh frustrations, walking into the kitchen and standing blank-faced, unable to remember what she came for, groping for common words during phone calls with her daughter, growing anxious over small things that never bothered her before. She was getting roughly 8 hours in bed most nights, but her bedtime fluctuated wildly. Some nights 9 p.m. when tired early, others 11 p.m. after a late show. Worse, she routinely lay awake for 45 minutes to an hour, heart racing with worry about not sleeping. We implemented the full rest protocol right away. Within the first 2 weeks, she noticed mornings felt less heavy. By 6 weeks, her self-reported alertness score had climbed from about 40% to 80% most days. Nighttime awakenings dropped from 4 or 5 per night to 1 or 2 at most. The anxiety that had started creeping in melted away, and her confidence returned. One day she looked at me and said with tears, "I was convinced I had early dementia or something serious. Turns out my brain was simply exhausted from years of poor sleep habits. I feel like myself again." Then Harold, 68 years old. Harold had always been the early-to-bed type. "More rest is better, right?" he'd say. So he turned in at 7 p.m. sharp after dinner. But without fail, he'd wake at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling, mind racing, unable to return to sleep. He'd been taking a low-dose sleep aid for over 5 years. Cognitive screening showed mild deficits in short-term word recall and attention. We began with the non-negotiable: fixed wake-up at 6:30 a.m. every day. We eliminated every source of nightlight in his home. Slowly shifted bedtime later by 15-minute increments until he reached 10:15 p.m. With his doctor's guidance, we tapered the medication gradually. A simple sleep tracker, he used a basic wristband, showed his deep sleep percentage rise by 35% over 2 months. On repeat memory testing, his score jumped from 15 correct out of 20 words to 19 out of 20. The constant morning fog disappeared completely. His wife later told me, "He's back to his old patient, cheerful self. I didn't realize how much the sleep issues were affecting his mood until it improved. These stories aren't exceptions. I've seen hundreds of similar transformations when people commit to better sleep hygiene. The exact framework I teach everyone is called the REST protocol, 4 interconnected pillars designed specifically for seniors. R. Rhythm. Establish and protect a rock-solid wake-up time. Choose one realistic hour, 6:30 a.m., 7 a.m., whatever fits your life, and stick to it religiously every day. Get bright light exposure immediately upon waking. Open curtains wide or step outside for 5 to 10 minutes if possible. This resets your master clock daily and builds reliable sleep pressure for the following night. E. Education and building natural pressure. Prioritize morning sunlight or bright indoor light for at least 15-20 minutes within the first hour after waking. Add gentle daytime movement, a 10-20-minute walk, light stretching, or household chores. Strictly cap naps at 20 minutes maximum and never take one after 3 p.m. These daytime habits amplify adenosine buildup, making nighttime sleep deeper and more efficient. S. Stimulus control. Enforce the 20-30-minute rule religiously. Awake and alert in bed longer than that? Get up without debate. Keep the bedroom for sleep and intimacy only. No reading in bed for hours, no scrolling on your phone. Dim all lights, move to a different room, engage in ultra-boring activities until sleepiness returns. Return to bed only when drowsy. Repeat as needed. This breaks bad associations quickly and powerfully. T. Timing. Optimize your bedtime window to 9:30 p.m., 10:30 p.m. for the majority of seniors. Adjust slightly based on your natural rhythm and wake time. If currently too early, delay gradually. 15 minutes later every 2-3 nights. Eliminate all sources of light after 9 p.m. If using any sleep medication long-term, schedule a doctor's review to explore tapering while these habits take hold. Preserving your own melatonin production makes a tremendous difference in sleep depth and brain repair. When people follow REST consistently, the improvements unfold in a predictable, encouraging pattern. During week 1, sleep architecture begins shifting. You notice fewer pointless awakenings. Mornings feel slightly less groggy. Energy lasts a bit longer into the afternoon. Week 2, sleep onset shortens. You fall asleep faster once in bed. Daytime mental sharpness starts returning. That background irritability or low-grade worry eases noticeably. Weeks 3 through 4. This is when most people feel the real shift. Memory recall strengthens. You remember appointments, names, recent conversations without straining. Focus improves during reading or TV. Mood becomes more even. Little things don't trigger frustration as easily. Week 4 onward. Deep slow wave and REM stages stabilize at healthier levels. Naps become truly optional rather than desperate. Overall cognitive clarity returns, like someone turned the lights back on in your mind. It's rarely dramatic overnight, but the cumulative effect feels profound once your rhythms realign. Important safety notes before you start. The REST protocol supports optimal brain function through better sleep. It is not a medical treatment or cure for diagnosed conditions like dementia, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, or other neurological disorders. It can complement professional care, but never replaces it. Under no circumstances should you stop any prescribed medication, sleep aids, blood pressure meds, antidepressants, etc., without first consulting your doctor. Sudden changes can be dangerous. If you have confirmed sleep apnea, significant heart disease, untreated depression, chronic pain, or other serious health issues, speak with your physician before implementing major schedule or behavior shifts. Begin slowly and gently. Master the wake-up time for 1 to 2 weeks first. Then layer in bedtime adjustments. Add stimulus control next. Tackle light reduction and medication review last. These steps are low risk and have strong scientific support for improving sleep quality and cognitive well-being in older adults.